Come join us. It's only time. Thank God it's Friday. We're rocking and rolling here. Shadowhawk has some family stuff to do. Uh, you know, with his daughter and whatnot after school. So, mm, what a refreshing drink! Jolly Rancher drink mix singles. These are brand new. Haven't seen Jolly Rancher come out with any of these drink mix, but a nice addition with a little watermelon cartoon for my box collection. Yes, I collect these things, believe it or not, drink boxes. I thought, just looking around me here, I have the Man of Bronze, one of the Curtis Marvel released uh, magazines. I assume it's Marvel related. Curtis did some Marvel stuff, right? Uh, the Man of Bronze, Doc Savage, nice, nice condition for this older magazine. I mean, not perfect, but uh, sort of bronze or copper metallic ink here in the top there. George Powell exclusive movie. He did a movie. George Powell passed away not too long ago. He also played Tarzan, among others. He was playing Tarzan in the mid 60s. Um, anyway, I thought I would read to you, so I'll just take that off. Nobody wants to look at me anyway. Um, about the fictional character of Doc Savage. Doc Savage is a fictional character of the competent man hero type who first appeared in American pulp magazines during the 1930s and 40s. I'm reading from Wikipedia here. Real name Clark Savage Jr. He is a uh, polymathic, mathic, polymathic. Okay. Scientist, explorer, just sounded out Rex. It'll be okay. Detective and warrior who rights wrongs and punishes evildoers. He was created by publisher Henry W. Ralston and editor John L. Nanovic at Smith Street and Smith Publications, with additional material contributed by the series' main writer Lester Dent. Doc Savage stories were published under the um, Kenneth Robertson name. The illustrations were by Walter Brandhofer, Orban, let's see, Emery Clark, Modestine, and Robert G. Harris. Okay, that was a slog to go through. The historic adventure character who would go on to appear in other media, including radio, film, and comic books, with his adventures reprinted for modern day audiences in a series of paperback books, which had sold over 20 million copies by 1979 into the 21st century. Doc Savage has remained a nostalgic icon in the U.S., referenced in novels and pop culture. Longtime Marvel Comics editor Stan Lee and credited Doc Savage as being the forerunner to modern superheroes. Absolutely. That was a stretch, huh? To admit that. Um, Doc Savage will be coming up into public domain. Hey Carrie, hey PBR. Um, yeah, Shiloh, hell, soul. Okay, does this look like soul to you? Like you would spell it? Hell no. Anyway, America, America. Um, Doc Savage magazine was printed by Street and Smith from March 1933 to summer 1949 to capitalize on the success of the Shadow magazine, and followed by the original Avenger in September 1939. In all, 181 issues were published in various entries and alternative titles. Doc Savage became known to a new generation of readers when Bantam Books began reprinting the individual magazines in 1964, this time with covers by artist James Bama that featured a bronze haired, bronze skinned Doc Savage with an exaggerated widow's peak, usually wearing a torn khaki shirt, and under the byline Keith Robinson. The stories were not reprinted in chronological order as originally published, though they did begin with the first adventure, The Man of Bronze. In 1967, Bantam was publishing once a month until 1990, when all 181 original stories plus an unpublished novel, The Red Spider, had run their course. Arthur Will Murray produced 7 more Doc Savage novels by Bantam Books from Lester Dent's original outlines. Bantam also published a novel by Philip Jose Farmer, Escape from Loki, 1991, which told the story of how in World War I, Doc met the men who would become his 5 comrades. Uh, Doc Savage Jr. or Clark, I'm sorry, I got the Doc in my mind. Clark Savage Jr. first appeared in March 1933, early indeed, in the first issue of Doc Savage magazine. Because of the success of the Shadow, only the Shadow knows Lamont Cranston, right? Who had his own pulp magazine. The publisher Street and Smith quickly launched this pulp title. Unlike the Shadow, Clark Savage Doc to his friends, had no special powers, but was raised from birth by his father and other scientists, become one of the most perfect human beings in terms of strength, intelligence, and physical abilities. Doc Savage set up base on the 86th floor of a world famous New York skyscraper, okay, implied but never outright stated as the Empire State Building. Philip Jose Farmer, in his Doc Savage, His Apocalyptic Life, gives good evidence that this is likely the case. Doc Savage fights against evil with the assistance of the Fabulous Five. Doc Savage has appeared in comics and a movie, which this magazine has an interview by George Powell that, this came out around the time in the early 70s, 72 or 73, the movie came out. You can't watch it on YouTube. I think you can watch a trailer though. Um, you might check other streaming to see if they've got that Dark Savage movie. It is definitely going to be campy. Starts out in the Arctic, I believe. A lot of fun though. Uh, as I said, he appeared in comics and a movie and on radio as a character in numerous other works, and continues to inspire authors and artists in the realm of fantastic adventure. And like I said, in about 6 years, he'll be public domain and people can use him. He was an early prototype for Superman. Doc Savage magazine was created by Street and Smith Publications, exclusive Henry Ralston and editor, executive Henry Ralston and editor John Nanovic to capitalize on the success of Street and Smith's pulp character, the Shadow. Ralston and Novick wrote a short premise establishing the broad outlines of the character they envisioned, but Doc Savage was only fully realized by the author chosen to write the series, Lester Dent. Dent wrote most of the 181 original novels hidden behind the house name of Keith Robinson, and that's spelled Robeson. Maybe it is Robeson, Robeson, but I'll call him Robinson. Um, One Lester Dent biographer hypnotizes that one inspiration for. Oh, I'm sorry, hypnotizes. Damn. Okay, read Rex. Right. Uh, Hypothesizes that one inspiration for Doc Savage. Hey, face it, folks. This is why you show up. Watch me fail. That one inspiration for Doc Savage may have been the American military officer and author Richard Henry Savage, who wrote more than 40 books of adventure and mystery stories and living a dashing and daring life. The character first appeared on screen in 1975. Okay, a little bit later than what I thought. Doc Savage, The Man of Bronze. It was announced on May 30th, 2016, that Dwayne The Rock Johnson would be playing Clark Doc Savage, billed as the world's first superhero, and the film would be directed by Shane Black with a script uh, by others. In 2022, this concept was changed from a film to a television show. Did that ever come out? Does anybody know? A team of scientists assembled by his father deliberately trained his body and mind to near superhero human abilities almost from birth, giving him great strength and endurance, a photographic memory, a mastery of the martial arts, and vast knowledge of the sciences. Doc is also a master of disguise and an excellent imitator of voices. He is a physician, scientist, adventurer, detective, inventor, explorer, researcher, and as revealed in The Polar Treasure, a musician. Dent described the hero as a mix of Sherlock Holmes' deductive abilities, Tarzan's outstanding physical abilities, Craig Kennedy's scientific education, and Abraham Lincoln's goodness. He has also described Doc Savage as manifesting Christ-likeness. Doc's character and worldview is displayed in his oath, which goes as follows: Let me strive every moment of my life to make myself better and better to the best of my ability, that all may profit by it. Let me think of the right and lend all my assistance to those who need it, with no regard for anything but justice. Let me take what comes with a smile without loss of courage. Let me be considerate of my country and my fellow citizens and my associates in everything I say and do. Let me do right to all and wrong no man. By the third story, Doc already had a reputation as a, quote, Superman. Savage is accompanied on his adventures by up to 5 other regular characters referred to in the 1975 movie and in marketing materials from the Bantam Books republications as the Fabulous Five, all highly accomplished individuals in their own right. And I'll let you read the rest over there. But, I wanted to bring up Doc Savage today because he's an early prototype for Superman. Um, Human perfectionism, near superhuman abilities, because he's so learned in the martial arts and physical discipline, and then also his mind and everything. But he was called Superman long before Superman was, which would come around a couple years later. And the first Superman in about 1935 was a bald Lex Luthor looking character, and he was a villain, I believe, in the early iterations of Superman, by Siegel and Schuster. They were just two young Jewish teenage boys. I think they were around 16, 17 when they actually created the finalized, if you can call it that way, version of Superman. But there were some early attempts and iterations. Certainly, Dr. Savage was an inspiration for that. He had a Fortress of Solitude, and like I said before, it wasn't till 1957 before they ever worked that into Superman's lore in Action Comics, I believe. I've been pretty much just working on writing, and I will we'll see what the next days bring. I will have some time off from work, simply because we're just not busy now. I don't go until the 27th, so I've got a few days. I've got the weekend here, and and beyond to get some things accomplished around here. So will that translate into more streaming? I don't know. I really can't tell you. We are going to do the Rex X and Apex show. Just a moment. Abby's, having her but she's had her medicine today. I do think it's helped, but it's never going to go completely away. It just comes with age, I guess. So, pray for Abby and her heart. But she's very active for her age. She's very, very active. I believe the first year of a dog's 15 years, and then the next is like 8 or 9, and then after that, I think it's like five years added each year, something like that. I think we looked that up with most breeds. But she's had a very adventuresome life. She hasn't went on all my adventures, but she got to go on this last one to Atlanta, and that was probably, I don't know if it was stressful for her, but it was a little stressful for me, and I don't like stress, but we made it through it. And it's good to have her, with me. Otherwise it wouldn't have been as near as much fun, I'm sure. But I'm going to try and complete a few things that I've started artistically, like this one I started in January when I was talking about doing the Bog, Cortex, and Dirty Joe story. So, I've got this piece to complete, and there's some rounds that I've got complete. I will be doing a Cortex round here pretty soon. I'm working on developing some characters along the way. A lot of my stuff is at the printers right now being scanned, and so I don't have it here readily available to show or reshow. I didn't give her everything though. Everyone that backs Devil Flyer, of course, they get a free head sketch. I've done enough of these. I still have blanks. I'm still working on some, eventually once I get done with the rounds. But if if we reach a certain sketch goal, everybody will get 2 of these, black and white, color. I don't know, done quite a few of them, enough for everyone. I could easily give everyone 2, but I made that as a stretch goal. If you do back the big tier, you'll get 2 automatically. And I've worked on some larger pieces like that. But trying to figure out some things, where how best to proceed. Hopefully, I'll get that bonus money from going to Atlanta, and we can apply that to some new artwork. Eric and Boyd in the house. How are you, Eric? Eric says, I don't like being the bearer of negative news, but I learned uh, Phantasmagorical had a stroke, according to Omer Glitch. I don't know the full details. Wow. Omer said he posted the info on the other day. I had not heard that. I had not heard that Fanta had a stroke. So we wish her all the best, and that sucks for sure. Some of the news today, besides that, Joan Collins turned 92 today. It's her birthday, born in 1933 in Paddington, London, England. English actress, author, and columnist Joan Collins is a recipient of several accolades, and including a Golden Globe Awards, People's Choice Award, 2 Soap Opera Digest Awards, and a Primetime Emmy Award nomination. All I know is she did the original Star Trek and Space 1999 and that movie about the ants in the late 90s, so she's done some fiction stuff, that I think probably in the most fan favorite original Star Trek thing. Also on this date, Full House aired its series finale. The show debuted on September 22nd, so yesterday, 1987, and ran for 8 seasons, airing a total of 192 episodes. I know I watched it a lot. Apparently, The Don is launching in early June his own project, Omega Mission, so that'll be interesting. I believe this is a piece by Don from that, and I've got another piece as well to show you. Let's give it a second. There we go. So good to see him going into the comics. Big time Philip Jose Farmer fan, are you? Okay. In 1990 film Pretty Woman, Richard Gere's car was a Lotus Esprit after both Ferrari and Porsche had refused to allow their cars to be used in a film associated with prostitution. As a result of the product placement, Lotus sales had tripled. How about that? On this date, 1980, The Shining is released in theaters, notable for being the first epic horror film. Really? Really? The first epic horror film? Really? Come on now. It has since become one of the most referenced and popular films of all time. Okay. Stanley Kubrick, anything Stanley Kubrick puts his hand to, going to be good. Richard Benjamin, actor Richard Benjamin, he was in Westworld for one thing. I can remember that, the original Westworld. He's been married to Paula Prentice since 1961. That's 64 years so far. That's pretty good for Hollywood. There he is with his wife, and a more recent picture here. 64 years and going strong. That's good. That's real good. I know what that is because my parents were married for 62 years. That's a long time. Yeah, prayers for Fanta. Omer, if you want to come in here, I'll send you the link. I know Shadowhawk's going to be late. Here's another of Don. Sign up for Omega Mission number 1. Fund My Comic goes live midnight June 8th after episode 35 of the studio, according to Don. Here's a wider shot of that I showed you. K Brick. Okay. Stanley K Brick. Okay. Pronounce and enunciate. Okay. Happy 420. Is it 420? I don't know. Apex Comics says we will be, as I said earlier, having Rex X and Apex on this channel tomorrow at 11 a.m. in the morning. Say goodbye to the penny. The Treasury Department announced Thursday that the U.S. Mint phasing out the coin after 230 years. According to the Mint's annual report, it cost almost 4 cents to produce the coin, which dates back to the 1790s. By phasing out the penny's production, the Treasury expects to save an immediate $56 million annually. And you think with government, what's $56 million? Well, you cut out 56 here and 56 there and 56 there, and you've added up to some big money. So I think that's a good thing. Now, how they're going to do that, just stop making it. Does that make all our pennies worth 4 cents automatically or more? Collectible. Yes, Apex Comics will be. That's fine, Omer. We'll be talking some Fembat new revelations with Fembat campaign and what's in store there on the Rex X Apex show, among other things. Here's a picture of the birthday girl, 92 today, Joan Collins. And here's a more recent picture right there. 92, man, still going strong, still being able to stand up, you don't know till you lose it. 92. I know a lot of people can't stand on their own, I did find out about Nexus the Liberator. That was the first Nexus comic series that had no input from the co-creators. Here's number 2 of 4. I picked up one of those recently in a dollar bin and wondered about that. So that was the first one that had no input by Steve Rude or Mike Baron. Nexus Liberator. You might want to look up that little mini series. Or not. Maybe it's Mike Baron or bust. 11 a.m. Central Time, Saturday. Yep. And it'll be on this channel. We rotate it around every 2 weeks. Spring Ball Terminal Monstrosity hit 30K during the closeout stream last night. Spring Ball is now in demand on Indiegogo. We'll check in and see how it's doing since the closeout. But a little bit over 30,000. $30,520. So Shanthanjeti, congratulations, sir, on a campaign so far. Just seems to be no limit to. That's cool. Thanks to all the backers, I'm sure, for backing that book and getting it up to 30,000, and all those that promoted it. Here's a Gary Martin piece that he posted. Well, that's not it. Let's see. There we go. Bride of Frankenstein. Very cool. I think that's, he's done the Bride of Frankenstein a couple times, actually. I think he said that was commission number 2. So I don't know if that was like Be on the Dawn channel. Apex says Dawn draws stuff tomorrow night. We'll be drawing the Max. Very cool. I might have to catch that and draw. I certainly won't be working. And I did Marcus Killigrew on the Hump Day show on Omer's channel. Said the Max is kind of hard to draw, and I'm like, is it really? I mean, exaggeration. Okay. I've never tried to draw him, so what I know, but I'm kind of up for the challenge. But then again, I got enough stuff on my plate. I really do. I've got a whole universe to develop, of my own characters. I just prefer my own characters. It doesn't. Let's say somebody really liked my work. I got $500 for a Superman drawing. So what? $500 is nothing. I'd be better doing a page or two of sequential artwork, and publishing the book and getting more than that. It's just, it doesn't add up to me. But I mean, if you like to draw Spider-Man and other people's stuff, that's fine. I'm just not one of those artists, and I guess it was till recently I haven't given it much thought. Not really. Till, maybe the Hump Day show when they were like, hey, let's all draw. And it's like, yeah, I'm really not interested. Sorry. That's me. I'll probably never get on any of those shows unless they let me draw my own stuff. I'll draw the whole time, just like I do on Topicless. And you'll see the top of my head till I get another arrangement and get things arranged here. Like I said, that is going to be one of my big major things this year, is to come into the 21st century, take care of the internet problem, take care of the second camera problem, higher production value and stuff for the channel. Got to go. Oh, Eric's bowing out early. Oh, well, it is Friday. I would thank Sam Keith when drawing the Max. Yeah. I definitely would have to look up reference for him, but he doesn't seem that hard to draw. I mean, especially when you see Sam Keith's stuff, his covers of the Max, and I do have a bunch of those. It's just big exaggeration. I mean, he draws the largest feet of any creator. I don't think I've seen anybody draw feet as large as he draws, and it's all exaggeration. It's all stretch and pull. It's all animation type stuff to me. It looks cool. I'll give you it. I mean, Jason Bascom's in love. Yes, I said it, Jason. You're in love with Sam Keith. You love his stuff. I was, yeah. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm glad that I did like some of the I did like that he did collage covers on the Max. See, we probably lost some viewers right there. You don't like Sam Keith? We're banning Rex. We're gatekeeping Rex. Look forward to another AC Comics interview, Eric and Boyd. Absolutely. Yeah, I need to catch up with those this weekend. Will I? Probably not. Omer, thank you for teaching me how to paint lavender. It's affected how I paint other things. Yeah, remember, Carrie, one thing that I learned in college was, speaking of lavender, which is just a light purple. How dare you? And a flower and other things. But anyway, um, don't ever, like when doing shadow or something like that, don't ever just use truly black. I mean, to your eye, it may look like truly black. Well, what you do is you get a dark, dark purple. Because even in the darkest, there's for you to be able to see it. If it was truly black, you would see, just close your eyes and do this. Make sure there's no light, coming in. Dark, you're blind. But if you can perceive it even just slightly, there's some light there. So, the way you do shadow is using dark purple in painting and markers or whatever. Don't make don't just take the black paint and paint black for your shadows, or lighten it up with gray for I mean, with white for grays. I mean, that's fine. But if you're going to do dark shadows, make sure you just get a dark like diazinon purple, you know, dark, and you know that's the way you do shadows. It's affected how I paint. Let's see, I'm no Picasso, but my paintings have improved because of that. One tip you gave me, which I appreciate. Yep, yep. I mean, I think just a little basic formal training is always good for any artist. I met a guy that I wish I had his talent. That there are a lot of people that have a talent, and he was full of himself. He was full of himself. You know, it's a stupid man that will not listen to some instruction. Oh, I know it all. And he was a talent. He could draw. But what was he going to do with it? And what did he ever do with it? Nothing. I bet you nothing. You know, I would rather have to work hard, learn, whatever, practice, and not have that guy's talent and actually do something with it than a guy that's, you're wasting it. I always hate to see that when somebody does that. Yeah. You won't be there unless I send you the link. I don't think I'll be. Well, I think I did. I think I did earlier. If I didn't send you the link earlier, Shadowhawk, I'll drop it in the chat for you. But I believe I did when setting this up. I may be mistaken, and frequently am. We can all learn something, you know. Love this cartoon that the classic horror films put on X there of the creature from the Black Lagoon going through the cereal aisle, and he doesn't have a cereal. You got Chocula, Frankenberry, Yummy Mummy, Fruity Brute, and Blueberry, and all those, and he doesn't have a cereal. Love that. Just love that. The creature from the Black Lagoon never truly gets any love. Um, on this date, 1995, comedian actor Eddie Murphy released his hit single "Party All the Time." Was the lead single for Murphy's debut album "How Could It Be," and it actually sold pretty well at the time. You know, he was a hot commodity coming off the Saturday Night Live. Here's a piece. I'm not sure if I've seen it. It's from a early '70s Jack Kirby portfolio. Actually, pretty cool. Like all the figures in that portfolio were. Um, I've actually got 4 plates that Elsie gave me from that portfolio, but this wasn't one of them. Kind of reminds me of the character Kang, which is a future version of Doctor Doom. And I can't say that enough. Doctor Doom. You know, he's just a neat villain. Doctor Doom. Great War of the Worlds piece from Yokohama Kow, Kow, however you want to say that. The alien visitors there. And I mean, you know, with those warships, you got to do that. Great movie. Little dated by today's standards, but man, the sound effects and the destruction, and then the whole story there. I mean, really, that opened up War of the Worlds and H.G. Wells to me as a kid. Here's Victor Hugo, Octopus, 1866 through 69, medium ink and wash on paper. So Victor Hugo drawing an octopus, and yes, I did send it to Ryan James when I find octopi. Drawings or something to do with octopus because he uh, is into all that, you know. Shadowhawk, I'm sorry, you're gonna miss it. Your werewolf representation for today. The question was, what is he thinking? Snooze. I would think he's having a bad dream, a nightmare where he's being chased by a human, like Planet of the Apes, human. Here is your lizard representation for today, Lorenzo. Little Godzilla and Son. I still have not seen all the rubber suit Godzillas, and hopefully by the time, you know, that I go on to my reward, that I will do so. New Wildstorm Classics title alert. Ruffner and Booth have done it again. Welcome to the Wild Core preview issue by Sean and Jessica Ruffner. Says see page 2 for the full wraparound image. But apparently, this is a new title that's coming out, a little preview. A lot of wasted space, if you ask me, for the logo. Wild Core. Looking at your spinner rack for, let me pick a good one. Well, this is a cool one. The first one I looked at. Can you dig it? He says. All Gil Kane covers. Let me see. What is that? That's 1975. So Gil Kane doing the Avengers, the Defenders, with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Are these all Gil Kane? Yeah, I guess they all are. They look differently because of the inkers. He had so much to do with so many artists and inkers and covers. He's got to be the number one cover artist of all time. Maybe Al Milgrom. Al Milgrom did a bunch. Here's an Al Milgrom Contest Champions cover. Al Milgrom's done a bunch of covers, and if he wasn't outright drawing it, he was inking on them, but kind of like Gil Kane. But so many iconic covers were done by those two guys. Here was Raul and T's Max that he did while he was on the Hump Day show. I believe that was on the Hump Day show. I don't think the Max is that hard to draw. Yeah, I don't think that it would be that much. Last time I drive crazy to get here. Yeah. Well, now, there was driving crazy to get home. And no link. Oh, no link for Shadowhawk. Okay. Well, now see, I wasn't sure. That's why I said, okay. And I said to you on the phone when he called me and told me he was going to be late. Very professional of him, very courteous of him, that he just got out from work. I was just fixing something to eat. And I said, well, drive careful and, it'll be fine. Yeah. Sorry about that. There's your link in the chat, Shadowhawk, if you're listening. Got my copies of John Westhoff books today. LCS for Kickstarter. I believe it's finished now, and he did well after a bunch of people changed their mind on him last minute. That's the thing about Kickstarter. Oh yeah, I pledge, and a lot of people probably do do that just to mess with people. oh yeah, I'll back it. I'll pledge so much, and then they're counting on that, and then they withdraw it later or at last minute. That's not cool. On with the show. This is it. You better have driven safely, young man.
Hmm.
Mhm.
There I am trying to get back here on time, and I open up my phone and I don't even have the link. All
No link.
right. I see how you are.
Yeah. Well, I needed a
Almost
few
3
more.
years in, and I can't remember to send me a link, guys.
Yeah, I know. Well, I set it up yesterday, and I thought I sent you a link, but I guess that was yesterday's. My mind's on lag. You know.
Yeah, that was yesterday's one.
Yeah, yesterday's link. Isn't it a great feeling to go? Okay, here's the link. You click on it, and it's like, yeah, it's ended. It's an old link. That probably happens to you more than it does me because I'm the one sending out the links most of the time. But anyway, so
Well,
you made it home safely. I don't know if I told you. I think I said, well, be careful and we'll see you when we see you. But I don't know that I
I
said don't
I hung up on you
don't worry.
pretty quick, man. I was
Yeah, were you in the
uh,
thick of traffic at the time?
yeah, I was getting ready to pull into the house. The daughter was getting in the car. I was moving, but it's all good. Uh, Carrie says she
I
got
don't
her
know what
copy.
she's talking
Who
about.
is John? What's John Westhoff's book, Carrie? I don't know if you told me about that
Nine
one or
hundred
not.
dollars worth of backing, so not cool that people withdrew. That's one reason I don't like Kickstarter is that
Yeah,
you had
I
nine hundred
that's
dollars worth pledged to you, and then all of a sudden, don't want to do it.
yeah, but a lot of times what happens is, they send you the notice, oh, your campaign's ready, it's time to pay, and you're like, oh shit, I don't have the money.
Yeah,
That's what I like
right.
about Indiegogo and FMC. You don't have that problem.
You don't have that problem, no. And if you're going to run a major campaign, let's say with my next campaign, John Buscema, right? You
Hmm.
need money to operate and continue to go forward, right? I'm waiting on my bonus check. Hopefully, I'll get it in the mail or they'll direct deposit if they get that
Okay,
straightened out.
question for you, Rex. Let's see if you
Yes.
remember this one. Mike Barron's Leviathan campaign,
Yeah.
was that a $25 hardcover, or it was like $100 for the hardcover, right? Or whatever it was.
Mm, I
Or
wouldn't
was
think
it
that it was $25. That sounds way too cheap for
or
the
was it
hardcover.
only available in hard? See, here's the problem I got. Got a
Hmm.
big old box when I came home today,
Uh huh.
and I thought I had just ordered one copy of Mike's new book.
Hmm.
Um, but it looks like what happened was,
You ordered more than one and forgot about it.
I, I don't know if I ordered more than one or if somebody screwed up at Mike's shipping
Yeah.
and they sent me a retail bundle because these are
Oh
all
wow.
like taped together. And dude, it's like 20 pounds of book right there. This is some heavy shit.
So there's four there.
Yeah. And I don't
Wow.
know what to do about it. If I should contact Mike and get his shipping people in trouble, if I should just keep them. I don't know what to do. I gotta call Mike. I gotta
Well, I mean,
send him.
again, did you back him on Fund My Comic or Indiegogo?
Uh, Fund my comic, I believe.
Now, can you go? You can't go on with like Indiegogo and see your history, can you? With Fund My Comic?
I haven't figured that out yet.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
it's
I'm not
it's
sure that
not
you
as
can
easy.
view your back. Well, it seems like I have. You can do that over on Fund My
I, I
Comic. In
I
fact, I
think I
know.
have, but it's a little more of a complicated than Indiegogo was. Of course,
No, no.
Indiegogo now they changed their shit too, so it's more complicated. But I
Um,
feel bad if this got sent to me by mistake. But if I overpaid thinking I was buying one, then I don't feel bad. But I don't know
Right.
what happened. So, because I know I paid like $100 and some odd dollars, so I don't know
Well, you might
what
have
that
bought a
was.
retailer bundle thinking, I don't, well, I don't know. Retailer
Mm.
bundle's pretty cool.
And I
Uh,
think they were supposed to be signed and stuff too, but I'm not sure.
yeah, you have to
I gotta
open it up
open
and see if
one.
they're signed.
Yeah, and I don't want to open the bundle if it's not my bundle. That's
Yeah, right. Yeah, I got it. The
I've never had this
way,
happen. I've never had this happen before. I've had extra books. Like Ethan has sent me extra stuff a couple of times, and every time I tell him about it, he's just like, "Keep it. Don't worry about it." So that's
okay, you know
fine.
what? I'm going to
But
do this.
I
So,
ain't never had him send me a bundle like that. You know.
right. Yeah, we're going to do it this way so that you can see what I'm like when I go on to, okay, creator, which is me
Right.
over here on mine.
See, but yours is
Of
set up different than mine. First of
course,
all,
that's
because you're on
me.
a
Yeah, yeah. I'm a.
but you're also on a laptop, Rex, so nothing is going to look on your computer like it looks on my phone. You got to understand that to
Let's
start with.
see. Contact. That's contact. Don't want that.
You want to go to
Maybe
your
click
history or
on the
your contact.
picture here.
I'll do.
Campaigns created. Campaigns backed. See, it says
There
two
you go.
campaigns
Yeah.
backed, and it will show you. Okay, I put $1 on my own campaign and donated the rest to fund my comic. And so it shows that I backed mine and Nephilim Squadron. That's all I've done over on Fund My Comic. But it will
No.
show you backer campaign. That's how I do it.
Dude, I'll tell you what, I haven't been even I've tried the last couple nights to back Pete Sammetti's t-shirt on his new campaign because I'm not ready to yeah,
Mm-hmm.
well, I don't know. I haven't decided yet if I'm ready to buy like a voucher. And fucking FMC keeps kicking me every time I try to pay. No, I gotta talk to Luke, find out what's going on.
Well,
I don't know.
I don't know who does fulfillment for Mike, but does RJ do fulfillment for Mike? It didn't come from Critical Blast, right? You've received stuff
Critical.
from Critical Blast
No,
before.
it came from. See, I don't know if this is Mike's own place or what. This came from.
Yeah, I can't see Mike doing that much in fulfillment. I know some of
This
the big professional artists do
this came from
on
the
their campaign.
Braille Image Group,
Hmm.
and it's in Tennessee, and Mike's in Colorado, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming this is his distribution center.
Yeah, probably is. I mean, I don't know
I
how
mean,
he's
at
got
that point, I just say fuck it because it's the distribution center. I'd like to keep all four, but it's Mike. You know, I don't want to fuck Mike. God damn it!
your wife doesn't. I mean, his wife doesn't want you to fuck him either. Anyway,
I'm
with that,
sure she doesn't, and I'm sure mine doesn't either. Um, you know what I mean. Do
I
you
know
got a
what you.
DM for Mike?
Honesty is the best policy. I can contact him on X,
Can you contact him and
or
let
or
him
you
know?
can, or you
What
can. You're on
I know.
X.
Yeah, but I don't know if we're like friends or whatever.
Okay. Well, I'll contact Mac and um
Tell
Mike
him to
and tell him that
get
you
a hold of
received.
Shadowhawk if he can. Send me a friend request, and then I
Okay.
can discuss it with him in DMs. Because I don't know what to do, dude, and I don't want to open. I'm dying to read this thing, but I don't want to open this fucking retailer bundle
So
without knowing.
that's what you got was 4.
I got four, and well, we're live now, but as soon as we're not, I got to go back into FMC and check exactly what I backed. I mean, I might have backed them 4 times. I don't know.
Um yeah, Let me just take a look at Find My Comic.
Because you know me, Rex, and get a few drinks in me. I'm like, oh yeah, let me back that again.
Oh yeah, I
next
mean,
thing I know, I backed it 4 times.
Mercenary Guild. You know, you like Luke. You're saying
Oh
I
yeah,
want.
I think I
You know,
backed
you
Luke
backed him
twice
multiple
already.
times, 2 or 3 times. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Shant and Jetty, I went to back him again last night, and I pulled up by Indiegogo, and I already backed him like 3 times in a row, and I was like,
Was it
all
spring?
right,
Was it spring ball? Spring ball?
mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was.
new one.
He went over 30,000 by the close, so that's cool.
Yeah, because the first one I backed was the new one plus the number one when he had the really limited editions of the original number ones.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second one I backed was the other cover with the number two original edition. And then the third time I backed it was, I forget, I think I bought both new covers or something. But I was going to back them again on the closeout night the other night. And I was like, well, fuck, I backed you 3 times. I already did.
Yeah.
I can only do so much. I'm only one bird.
Well, I'm looking at the bar out here.
Can only earn so much money.
Already echoing. Let me send you the link over on.
Are you fucking kidding me? God damn it. Well, it's been. No, it hasn't. It's only been 30 minutes.
He's already ready to bow out. It's been like 10 minutes for you, 15 since you come on. All right, so send it over there on Indiegogo because I wiped it out in the chat. I don't think yesterday we got around to looking at some of the campaigns that you had sent me, Carrie, but we will get to that. I appreciate you sending me those campaigns. Like I said, if you have some like that you want to that you oops, tried to come in and got kicked. Somebody did, which would have been Shadowhawk. I'm looking here at options. I'm not seeing that. If anybody knows on Fund My Comic how you can view your history of your backing, we could definitely appreciate the knowledge. I think you should say something. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Definitely. Honesty, the best policy. Of course, the way shipping is, by the time you ship it back and everything, it's like, wow. But you know what? Whether they do or not, you know, the creator may say, hey, thanks for doing that. You know, here's something special for you and your effort. You know, you might get something truly unique. Who knows? Being honest and kind is its only reward, and it should be. It should be reward enough. Welcome back. I did not see over on Fund My Comic where you see your history. I just know how okay, stumbled across my history by clicking on the icon of my campaign. But
anyway, yeah, it was an ordeal, dude. My daughter almost got me rear-ended like 4 times. So.
Did I?
You know,
wow.
You live in the country, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the speed limits are like 30, but the people who live there drive about 70, right?
Yeah.
You've seen little old ladies that'll pass you in the fucking wink of an eye. So I'm looking for a fucking address. I got my emergency blinkers on, and I'm trying to wave people around. And I got fucking people flying up my ass, man, fucking and then honking at me and fucking flipping me off and shit. And I'm like, look, I'm just trying to find an address. I've given you plenty of notice. I don't know what else you want. If
Yeah.
I'd have had my pistol in my hand, I'd have fucking started shooting shots at people on their way by. Tsh, tsh, fucking mother.
What you need is a tow bar about this big on the back. They won't be rear-ending you but once. I hate those things. You
Yeah,
get behind somebody at like a stoplight and you got to back it up another extra
I
2 or
want
3
like
feet
a.
because
Now that it's getting warm out and people
you
are
want to go
driving
road
around.
warrior with spikes, right? On your
Well,
vehicle.
now that people have their windows open, I want to get me a good super soaker, so that
Oh,
when
there you go.
somebody wants to be an asshole and drive by me like that, I can just
That's
spray
cool
them.
till they
Fuck
pull out their 45 and start popping off at you.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, you bring a knife, I bring a gun,
Well, then I have to shoot back.
It escalates,
It is what it is. I just toss a grenade in the window and move on
Yeah, I know,
in Minecraft.
boom, you know, I get it.
Look at the pretty fireworks.
Road rage, I get it. Uh,
No,
I
it's just
frequently get it.
I had a long day today
Hey,
already. My
Peter,
back was killing me.
did you
And my
finish the
daughter.
tile? Being on
Hmm?
your hands and knees, did you finish the tile work?
Yeah, dude, but I'm still fucking recovering, man. I'm god
Yeah.
damn an old man.
Well, I asked you that the other day, and you said, "Yeah, but you had to go in there and regrout some stuff or something."
Yeah, I had to go in and caulk everything
Oh,
Monday,
God.
and then
Yeah.
by the time I did that, by the end of the day, I had to take fucking yesterday off because when I woke up, my entire back was locked up. I couldn't even move.
Seized up. Wow. So, what they
I,
have you doing today?
I don't give a fuck about, just doing my regular stuff today.
Okay.
Fixing a bunch of machines and walking all over the goddamn plant and doing whatever was
Mm,
necessary to be done. And then fucking putting this one machine back together, I had two choices: either squat or have this little tiny stool that's only about like a foot and a half, less
yeah.
than that, off the ground. So I
Probably on
chose.
coasters,
hmm
rows.
And
Is it
then I
row?
chose to sit on the stool, but then my knees are still completely bent the whole time.
Mm,
So by the time I got done fixing that machine, it was about the end of the day. I went to stand up, and it was just like, oh yeah, this is not good. So
yeah.
it is what it is. Getting old sucks. Take my word for it, Carrie.
A- a- and
And
then you
Peter.
got to find the address and do whatever you did with your little hawk and
Mm-hmm.
make it home. Yeah.
Well, because what? See, the whole thing was, if she had told me where her friend lived, I know that town like the back of my hand from working in the county,
Uh huh.
and I could have had her there in 15 minutes. But she wanted me to follow her Google map, and she doesn't know how to read it, and she's not a good navigator.
Yeah.
So it was a nightmare getting there. On the way home, I was just like, I was flying, dude. I was doing 50 mile an hour down all the back roads. That's how I got her so quick. I didn't think I was gonna be home until at least 5.
Yeah. From what you were telling me, it was like, yeah, it sounds like you're going to be, you know, more like 5 o'clock,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
4:45,
I was
something
like,
like that.
having my daughter navigate, it's just gonna be a nightmare.
Yeah. She
But
was
as
doing that
soon
on her
as,
phone.
yeah,
Yeah.
But as soon as I finally figured out where the house was, I was like, "Oh, honey, I could have had you here fucking 15 minutes ago." Yeah, it's like,
Progress.
mm,
Well,
it is what it is. As long as my daughter's happy, she has a good time spending the night. A friend's got a swimming pool and it's supposed to be hot tomorrow. So.
And it's the weekend. At least you got Saturday and Sunday off. I'm off till Tuesday. Um, so I've got an extra long weekend and going to do.
Yeah, mom's working until Sunday, so tonight doesn't do me much good.
Well, I mean, you got the house all to yourself.
Well, yeah, but I can't be wearing mama out for work tomorrow.
Just crack that retail bundle out and take your one and read it. Do it. You know you want to read that Leviathan tonight.
Dude, yeah.
You'll get about on page 3 and conk out.
And you'll be the first person to call fucking Mike up and be like, you know what Shadow did?
Right. Let's get Mike back on here. Let's tell him what Shadow did.
And the Fanta will be all mad at me. She'll be like, Shadow, how could you?
Did you hear Fanta had a stroke? Apparently.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
When?
Eric and Boyd said that Hen had said something about it, and Omer picked up on it, and Eric heard about it. So through the grapevine or whatever, she's had a stroke. Some
Oh
type
my
of stroke.
God, when? Is she okay?
Maybe yesterday it was announced. I don't know. I'm just now learning about it at the beginning of the stream. So, and I haven't gotten any details on it yet. So, just pray for them. I don't know what's going on. So,
I don't want to be
in the dark as usual, just doing my own thing.
man.
With the dog and the turtle.
Yeah, I hadn't heard anything about it yet, so I'm putting out prayers for Fanta. Oh my God.
Yeah. Hopefully, I mean, there can be life altering, debilitating, and deadly strokes, or they can be like mild,
Mm-hmm.
So
Or they can be like, next to nothing.
yeah.
But it just depends how they get you, where they get you.
Yeah.
Hail Peter Acapad in the house.
I can't remember if my father had a heart attack or a stroke. I think he had stroke. He had a stroke on like his.
Well, a stroke, if it's not too bad, it'll like paralyze you or something like that. But if you have a stroke with what they call it, an embolism,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
you're usually fucked.
Well, I know my dad had some like mini little, mini things, clotting and
Like
stuff.
micro, what do they call them now?
Yeah,
Like micro
yeah, and
stroke.
he would like, he was like this in the hospital, but after a time it would go away, and there was no effect on him really. But then he had one on the right side, and then right when his speech was getting back to normal, he had another one on the left side, and he could still speak, fairly clearly and everything. Sometimes his tongue would not say what his mind said. And I haven't had a stroke, and my tongue doesn't have
Yeah,
a.
dude, I don't even need a stroke, and I do that.
I mean, earlier before you came in, Omer was saying, "This is enunciation. This is how you pronounce it." Give me shit about how I don't break things down to read them, on a split second. So,
Homer, I thought you were an art teacher, not an English teacher.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
My English grades are quite high.
Yeah, well, mine were average.
Look at
I
me
had quick look of
getting
things.
ready to give that little bunny rabbit a nice handshake.
Yeah, yeah. There were some like math and English that I was just pretty much average in. The sciences and sciences and things like
Read
that. Were a bit higher, or higher than that.
She's cleaned up in here again, and I can't
I was
find
mostly
her.
an A or B student. With C maybe in English and math. It's boring. I don't know. Just not my forte. That's all right. I've had years to develop or to, you know, de- totally lose it. What do you think you're going to do for dinner? Are you going to do like pop a hungry man in the microwave or
Ah,
something?
yeah, Mama don't get home till 7.
Mama,
Might
bring me home.
I might just order something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
That way she don't have to cook when she gets home.
Yeah,
She's had a long day.
I'd just chillax this weekend as much as possible. Of course, we will be doing the Rex Hex and Apex
Well,
show
we
on
got
this channel tomorrow.
Memorial Day weekend this week, so I'm gonna go tomorrow and get some fajitas.
There you go. That sounds pretty
I
good.
wanted to
Grilled
do it
some
tonight,
fajita
but
meat.
I was so panicking trying to get back. I didn't want to stop.
Have you ever tried to do? Well, I'm sure I said drive carefully. You know, don't panic. But
I
it's
know you
okay.
did, but I was trying to get back time for the show. If I would, my little carniceria is out there, not too far from where I dropped my daughter off.
Hmm.
So if I would have stopped over there, and then it would have been another 20 minutes in there. By the time I got back, it would have been well after 5. Uh, so I didn't
The
want to.
artist that shall not be mentioned. You know, he used a term that I'd never heard of, a bodega, right? A bodega. Now you know what a bodega is, but
Yeah, I know.
I saw somewhere. I'm not even sure if it's here in town or if it's another town that I was going to. They're building a place called Bodega or a Bodega, whatever. And I was like, oh, I know what that is.
Well, they're trying to upscale it now. For
Hmm.
years, a bodega is a
Quick shop.
it's a little grocery store in like a bad neighborhood,
Hmm.
basically.
Yeah.
Remember when who shall not be named used to have to run down to the bodega.
Right. Exactly. I'd never heard that term before. I had to ask him, what is a bodega? I've never heard that term. Never
Mm.
seen one. I mean, I
Yeah,
kind of got what he was saying just by, you know, kind of figured it was like a corner store, but I never heard bodega before.
it's usually run by Puerto Rican or Mexican immigrants. I think it's more Puerto Rican.
Hmm. Can I get a Polish sausage there? Just asking.
Maybe
You know, the
it
little
just depends.
hot dog
They're all
sandwich.
different.
Yeah.
Some of them are just straight up convenience stores. Some of them are a little more ethnic. It just depends.
Mhm. Well, I do know I'm working
Some
three
have a
days
little bit
next
both.
week. Pretty soon here, I'll be working every day, but I'm just trying to take advantage of the time that I do have off. Um, you know,
You gonna start your regular night schedule now?
yeah, I think they said they've got plenty of help on the daytime. And I'm not really that interested in doing the daytime stuff. I just did a day or two, uh, just for the money because the nighttime wasn't there. And it's been stormy, rainy here. That's why we haven't done much and way too windy. The times that we went out so far has just been pretty much for show, even during the daytime. And yeah, I want to work, but I want to be effective when I go work. You know, it's uh, if they said go out tonight and it was like 15-mile-an-hour winds, which is way too, you know, breezy, because it'll just take the fog, you know, the chemical and just float it away, and disperse it. I'd still go out, you know, if they wanted somebody just out there to do that. But um, yeah, it'll be Tuesday now, it looks like. And I'm scheduled for 2 more days. I think Wednesday and Friday. I think we're off Thursday for some reason, maybe because of weather. I don't know. But I mean, hopefully after this next week, you know, we'll be so far into June, you know, coming into June, and we have had a lot of rain, so those mosquitoes got to hatch out sometime. Fortunately, they're not bad yet, but you know, every day that ticks away is one day out of the season. you know, and
Yeah,
I'm not
exactly.
that worried about it. Since especially since I kicked my ass over there in Atlanta, but um, it'll come when it
Dude,
comes. I'm
when
not
I
worried
was
about it.
driving, when I was driving the snowplow, and when I was laid up, I woke up every morning. I went to bed praying for snow. You know, let me get a
Mhm.
phone call at 2 o'clock in the morning. We're going out. You know, there was money in my pocket. Hello, little bunny. I'm just saying hi, paying no attention to that talent ripping into your face.
Sorry about that. It just kicked me
That's all right.
in mid story. You were talking about snow.
Oh, I used to go to bed praying for snow. I'm fucking in the
Mhm.
wintertime, hoping I'd get an early morning phone call going, yeah, let's go to work.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to kill myself at this job or any job. You know, uh, I come near to it. You know, I mean, I don't think I've worked harder. Maybe when I went down Florida doing that emergency spraying because we were spraying for so long from, dusk to
Yeah, I've,
dawn and
I've
tired all the
worked
time. And
myself.
a lot of
I've
that
worked
would have been,
myself to the no.
if they put you in if they put you in the Taj Mahal, you know, they put you in the finest places, but you're worked to death tired. What does it matter if you're in a flea bag motel or in a nice hotel? I mean, it matters. Obviously, you don't want roaches coming across your bed sheets or anything, but you know, you're too
Ah,
tired to
you bet.
appreciate it. Really, they had my room plumbed wrong, where I had cold water the whole time. I should have tried it on cold to see if I could get hot water. And the main thing was he just kind of blew it off. I don't think about it that much. I only take about 3 minute shower anyway. And I kind of like a cold shower. He was like playing it off, and it's like, dude, look, I'm not complaining. I'm just wondering if your room is the same way. You didn't even answer me, really.
Hmm.
You diverted, you know, onto some other topic.
Sounds like it sounds like a prick.
Yeah. Well, that prick will be down um here in a couple weeks, maybe in June sometime, to do our tablets for,
So
because
so
right now
maybe
we're running without tablets.
he has a little accident and a
Right,
little
right.
bayou.
Uh,
You know,
called the Hoffa Squad.
if it was Houston, I'd say, oh, a gator must have got your granny.
Well, I don't know exactly what he does, but he goes wherever they send him. You know, he went from where I was in Atlanta. He left early and went to uh, Chesapeake Bay and was on a boat, pretty ritzy.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know what he was doing for that, but we are an international company. We're everywhere. It seems like we own Terminex, so we do more than just mosquitoes. In fact, we used to be the only mosquito thing they owned, but now I think they've probably expanded. They're doing stuff like Atlanta.
Yeah.
They probably took over some of the VDC contracts, whatever. I don't know. I know Sam had to leave and was talking about he was kind of antsy to get gone out of Atlanta because he had a lot of had to do some inventory stuff like that to get prepared for some people to come in to check it all, and that was a $4 million contract, and he didn't want to lose that. Of
Well,
course, he wanted to make them happy. So I get it. Me, I'm just like, what? We didn't get a raise this year? I need to ask the boss about that. Well, he tried. Well, I mean, I get it, but I should be earning at least this month
Bro, I didn't get a raise
by now.
this year. As
Yeah.
much as I fucking work my ass off, I got no raise, and it's
I
not
don't know
because
what
of
they
that.
make on those contracts, but they make damn good money, Shadowhawk.
These
They make
assholes
damn
had
good
the
money.
these assholes had the nerve to tell us that it wasn't because of us. It
Mhm.
was because of one of our little sister group companies had lost a bunch of money. So
Yeah,
we don't get no raises. What
right.
the fuck does that got to do with us?
Not even
Fire
a
them.
small raise. That's
No.
that's what
We
gets
got
me. Can't
zero.
you?
We got 0.0. We didn't even get fucking cost of living, dude. We got nothing.
Yeah,
Fuck
I
that. Put that other place, just fucking either shut it down or fucking fire everybody and start from scratch because you're
yeah.
doing something wrong.
Well, look, I mean, often these corporations they don't. I don't. Sears bought Kmart. Why? It was failing. The government, Obama had to bail it out. Why do you want
It's
to buy?
probably
Well, we could
it's
turn it
probably
around. No, you can't turn the Titanic around.
it's probably a tax write off
And
and an
Sears is out of
excuse
business.
not for them to give us a raise.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. Well, yeah. You're true about that. I mean, but I'm like a quarter raise, just a quarter. I'd be happy. A quarter
Fuck
raise. I
that,
mean,
dude. I'm
well, I
not
know,
making
but
it.
that's the way our raises come: quarter, 50
I
cents. The
understand that,
most
but
I've
as
ever
long
had is 75-cent raise, and I
bro,
think,
I'm in a position where if I'm not getting at least, and that's kind of a kick in the teeth, $1. I mean, I'm looking for 2 or 3 every year.
oh, I got you.
You
I,
you
I
give me
got
a
you, and in
you
your
give me a
profession,
dollar, bro.
that's probably on par to be in the running for the competition. But I mean, in this, it's like, and where we are, I mean, we don't earn as much as you would where you're at. I mean, cost of living though is a lot lower, or it used to be. Uh,
Where? Here?
Here in
Yeah,
Arkansas,
cost of living is way lower for you.
yeah, yeah, but our wages are lower too.
Well, and that makes sense because you can make them go further. But up here,
Mhm.
dude, fucking, you don't even get a fucking
Yeah, cost of
uh
living, then you're falling
cost of
behind.
living,
Exactly.
and you're just behind already.
If
You
if
know,
if they wanted to hire, which I've already, years and
and this
years and years
Biden
ago tried,
bullshit has fucking been killing us for 4 years to start with.
they say, "Oh, you're overqualified." Yeah, I'm not a dumbass that'll just accept your asinine orders all the time and
Mhm.
flip that burger and go get those buns and whatnot. But I can go to work at
Bro,
Burger
but
King
that's
or
also an
McDonald's if they
excuse.
would hire me and earn more
That's
starting
also
out.
an excuse for when you hit a certain age. It's like if we
It
hire this
is.
old guy, we gotta pay him money. If we hire this punk kid, we ain't gotta give him shit.
Right, and he'll say, "Can you do the graveyard shift, or can you come in at 2 a.m. or whatever?" He'll do whatever we say,
Mm.
or he's not going to show
Well,
up
I
and work
don't
out at
care. I
all.
mean, if you want me for a supervisor on graveyard, I can do that. But
Well,
you're
let's
gonna pay
face it.
me.
There's not that many people that are my age. I'm sure it's into the thousands, but that are still single.
But you're gonna
That
pay me that shift differential. You're gonna fucking, you're gonna
Yeah,
make it worth my while.
yeah. Well, I hear you, bro. I mean, I should be X amount of dollars by this time. My 13th season with them, definitely, but I'm not there yet, and it doesn't look like I'm going to get there this year because I don't think we're going to get a raise. Mm. So, and I think there's only been 1 year, maybe two, that we haven't gotten a raise, some kind of raise, and the raises are like, I think that last year I told you that there was this new guy. He had applied the year before, but he didn't follow through or something with it. And then he wanted to do it and he did it. Well, last year he did because I trained him. But the year before that, it was I'd first seen him when they were applying, and he said, "Well, I won't do it, but for an X amount of dollars," and they gave him that much.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Well, damn, man, that's only like 50 cents difference in what I'm earning." He hired on. I mean, what I hired on 12 years ago, 13 years ago, at is like $8 and something when I hired on.
Well, bro, it's time for you to go in there and have a talk with your boss too. Grow a pair of balls. Be like, fuck, I hear you're hiring you people more than you're paying me. I want the minimum at least of what you're paying them. I've been here 12 fucking years. The
Well,
fuck?
I'm earning more than he is, but not by much. That's what I'm saying. Is that
Well,
they
that's
said,
what I'm
"Well,
saying. How
here's
are
your
you
pay," and they're like,
hiring
"Well,
newbies when I haven't, gotten a significant raise in a while? Give me a couple bucks.
yeah, a couple bucks, yeah." Well, that probably ain't gonna happen. Ultimately, my boss has a boss that has a
Dude,
boss.
I don't go in there with dollar amounts. I go in with percentages. I want fucking goddamn 13% of my salary, and then we go from there.
Yeah, you're
That's why I
salary
go.
based, right? Are you on
And then,
salary?
no, I'm not salary based,
No.
but that's how I negotiate with them. And then I go, all right, well, I'll settle for 5, and then they give me 5%, and I get about a $3 raise.
Yeah, you always ask for over what you know you're going to get, so that
Yeah,
way
you
they
go,
can come
you
off
go,
of
you
that.
go, you
Yeah,
go in steep and give them room, and you go.
you go in steep, right? You don't go like, "Well, I would really accept $3," and then you wind up with $1.50. That's not going to help. So,
Yeah, right.
yeah, you
If
ask
you
for
walk,
5, and then they say we can't do that, and they'll give you the $3. Hopefully,
if you walk in there and they
what
go,
you really wanted.
well, Shadow, what would you be happy with this year?
A
And
million
you
dollars.
go, I could settle for $2. They're gonna lowball you, and they're gonna get you with $1.50, right?
Yeah,
So you go in and you go, man. After everything I've done, and you go in prepared. I've done this. I've done that. I've fucking done this over the past year. I've done nothing but improve this place. I think I deserve a $5 raise, and they come back at you with 3. Okay, I'll take the 3.
yeah, yeah. I mean, when I saw the Atlanta paychecks and I looked at what I was earning per hour, I was like, they hadn't changed that yet. And then I asked them locally, are they going to change that? And I don't think they are. I think we just not going to get it this year. And it's like, I know these like, well, like Sam said, with that one contract, $4 million, it's an ungodly amount of money. With I don't know where all of it's coming from and what they charge and whatnot. I know nothing about that, but I guarantee you they're paying us bare minimum compared to what all the thousands and tens of thousands, and hundreds of thousands, and millions
Well,
of dollars
sure. Well, yeah,
that
but you're also
that's all involved in all this because they got city
you're a big
contracts,
you're a big corporate entity too, right? So a lot of that goes right up top.
right? You're talking the pay that the top people who are on salary uh, are getting the big bucks, the lion's share of it. I get that, but I'm like, wow, man, you need to really pay these us little peons, at least you know minimum of what somebody at McDonald's would get. And most of it's are earning that, but I'm like, some of these people hired on at that almost. And I'm like, man, I've been working on up to this for years. You've gotten a lot of work out of me. I've got a lot of experience. I don't, in most cases, I don't need a map. I've got it all up here. I know the most effective and quickest way to do it, and the safest way to do it, so whatever. It is what it is, what it is, what it is. Anyway, if Shadow will come back, baby, come back. Unmute yourself. Are you
So
in the
I was
bathroom?
pouring. No, I was pouring drink.
Yeah.
And also,
Gallon
right,
size.
Right, you gotta consider how many people have you trained over the years?
A few. I mean, not a lot, thankfully, but yeah, a few.
But if you, I
Yeah.
mean, that all counts.
Fortunately, I
When
haven't had to train
when
anybody
you
this year.
had nobody else to train, who did you turn to, Rex? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm with you, bro. I mean, it's like, come on, man. Um,
And if they don't want to
50
work with
cents is
you,
not going to
man,
break this.
fucking
50 cents is not going to break this company. At least for some of, I mean,
and the
one
way I've
of your,
always been, dude, is if you're not happy with me, fire me. I'll
yeah.
collect the unemployment while I'm, looking for a new job, and you can
Yeah.
go fuck yourself.
Oh, I would have been very, I would have been better to take the pandemic year off. What I worked my ass off in the season for, uh, I mean, I did
But would
like
they have
two
brought
nights.
you back?
Yeah, they would have brought me back. Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh,
I could have set that year out and been thousands and thousands of dollars more. As it was like, yeah, I worked my ass off for what I could have in 2 weeks for what I could have earned sitting on my ass collecting unemployment like everybody else.
right.
Somebody's got to do it. I mean,
Rex
disease.
keeping the neighborhood safe.
Yeah, killing those disease ridden. That was the whole thing to go into
Malaria,
Atlanta.
carrying AIDS, infected,
They've got
stinking, flying, goddamn kamikaze.
it'll kill flies. It'll kill mosquitoes. It'll kill. You get it concentrated enough, it'll kill people.
Cool.
We cut that stuff. You can't have the pure cocaine. See, you got to cut it. Can't have the pure fentanyl. It'll kill you. Got to cut it
No fun anymore.
in Minecraft. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna do Shadowhawk a solid, and we'll cut it short here today, so that he can go
Thank you,
rest.
cereal and beat, man.
Yeah, I know you are with a crowbar and they put you in a burlap sack and they start whacking you like a pinata.
Yeah, a bunch of
Yeah,
guys with bars of soap. Yeah, it's terrible.
yeah. The great thing is you got the skill set. You got a lot of people clamoring after your talent. Me,
Yeah, if I could just
anybody
get
can
my
do my
knee
job.
healed up so I can walk around, right?
Oh, I didn't tell you about the autistic girl. She actually held somebody up at gunpoint or something that we had working for us last year. That was in all the news and I missed it.
Really?
Yeah, she kind of came in a place with a gun or something, and I don't think it escalated or she shot anybody or anything. And they probably took her autism into account, but she was that dour girl that I was telling you about that was just like very soft spoken and
Mm,
just kept to herself and not very
wow.
well taken care of, look and
Wonder what set her up.
I didn't quite get the whole story and didn't care for it, but yeah, we had somebody go postal that used to work for us last year. One of our drivers that I worked with. I always
Right.
talked nice to her and whatnot, and tried to cheer her up. Some people go around looking like a sad sack, like they have been in that burlap sack and beaten with a crowbar like a pinata, all the time. But some people just have mental issues. That's why I'm watching Gunsmoke, Matt Dillon, how to take care of a problem. I'm going to go purchase a gun this year. Pew, pew, pew.
How do you take
Frontier justice. I'm going to
how to
practice
handle a
frontier justice.
problem like Maria?
Yeah. Yeah. Nothing that a bullet can't handle. Yeah. Be thinking about a good name for this guy here. These here were supposed to be like Morgan Dollars. I was thinking about calling him Morgan or Mr. Morgan or something like that. I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know. But I'd
Okay,
pulled
let me
some of my
think about it.
older head sketches, and was the ones that I haven't sent to the printer yet. I need to check with her this starting next week, since today's already Friday.
All
Thank
right.
God it's
Well,
Friday.
hell, I'm gonna get out of here and go catch me
Absolutely.
a nappy.
Absolutely.
Have a
Keep
good.
collecting. We'll see you tomorrow on the 4 o'clock shadow. And yeah, we'll try and make it more interesting tomorrow. We'll try.
Yeah, I'm sorry I was so beat
No,
today.
that's
We
fine.
love you.
That's fine. We do love you. We love you. Even you, Jason. Rex X and Apex. And then I guess Shadow's going to do his review at 12 noon, at high noon. Of course, Apex has got stuff coming up on his. We'll get all that news about what's going on with Hex and Apex, and talk a little Fembat tomorrow on